There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie.
I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play? They're here.
Welcome to the Horror Cut.
Hello, Horror Cut fans. I'm Gary.
And I'm Stig.
Still Stig.
Still Stig.
It's going to get old fast, isn't it?
Pretty much, aye.
And what are we talking about today?
We are talking about A Quiet Place, or should I say, A Quiet Place, 2018.
Directed by?
John Krasinski.
Yes.
Starring John Krasinski.
Written. Oh, he's not written. Not written.
You're not written,
Although
no.
everybody thinks he did, but he did
interesting.
not. Yes. So, how many times have you seen it?
Do you know what? I think this was only my second time watching it. And I watched it the other night with two friends, and I've got a wee surprise for you. I didn't write any notes for it.
Oh, so you're winging this?
I'm winging this.
Oh.
Because they had never seen it.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't want to keep stopping
Right.
and writing notes. I didn't want to be on my phone. I wanted to just watch it, be engrossed. First time I saw this film was on a laptop.
Okay.
So that was maybe 2019, 2020 or something like that. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to just go along with the ride in this one.
Mhm.
I think I appreciated it more by doing so.
Fair. Is this you telling me you're not going to be writing any more notes?
Yep.
Well, we've got kind of very different backgrounds on this film. I have seen it twice before watching it for the podcast, both times in the cinema.
Mm-hmm.
So I went with Karen and really enjoyed it. Then I was out with my friend Claire, who's not a fan of horror, and I was like, come and see this. It's very different, and she loved it, actually. And it was one of those ones, second time round, I knew when the scares were coming, so I was like watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched it for the podcast, and it did take me 2 attempts. I fell asleep. But I put it on too late. So I finished this film at 9 a.m. on a sunny day. It was a very weird environment to be watching A Quiet Place.
That is a very weird environment to
But I
watch.
still enjoyed it. I think it's doing a lot. I think it's doing a lot of stuff that's been done before. I think it's bringing some new elements to it as well. Very grounded film, and I'm looking forward to talking about it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Who's doing the synopsis? Will I go?
I go for it.
So after what can only be considered an alien invasion, we meet the Abbotts, who are living out in what can be described as a desolate farm, trying to survive against bloodthirsty aliens that they
Hunt on sound.
They hunt on sound. Thank you for that.
No, that's all right.
Military fighting a massive invasion. Around the world. Total devastation.
We have to protect them. Promise me.
I promise.
Yeah, pretty effective film. I thought I got in watching it first time on like a proper TV. It totally had me hooked right from the offset. And you know, you said about adding, you know, taking bits that have been done before in these kind of films. Let's talk about the big thing here. There's no sound in this film. Oh, there's very, very little.
Very little sound. Very little dialogue.
Very little dialogue. Even dialogue that is said is kind of whispered.
And a lot of it is sign language.
And a lot of it's sign language, and that's kind of what I was going to get. It's like, it took, you know, like films like Tremors, where it was, you know, these things are under the ground and they hunt by listening to the sort of vibrations that you make when you walk. But then you're adding something like having a character who's deaf in there and adding in sign language. And not just a character, but a little girl who's deaf.
Mhm.
And it just sort of ups the stakes, ups the emotional reaction from the audience as well. And yeah, I think it's a solid little sci-fi thriller.
Yeah, and also we'll jump right in. One of our listeners, Gabriel Robertson, said the deaf angels from A Quiet Place are ridiculous and completely surface level monsters that would have been easily defeated by any modern military. What do you think? Do you agree with Gabriel, or what do we think about the monsters in this before we get into the nitty gritty? I mean, I can start because, like, for me, it's like gremlins, right? One gremlin you can probably deal with,
Yeah.
but we never see how many actually land on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe the military has wiped a lot of them out, and these are the ones that are left. I don't know. I think they're big. They've kind of got this like rocky skin. I think that you can only really shoot them once their head opens up.
Yeah.
And I thought they were quite menacing.
The film doesn't really go into too much about the backstory of them. It keeps everything contained to the family. So when I was watching it, I wasn't really thinking too much about the sort of outside world. How big is this invasion?
Yeah.
There are snippets from like newspaper articles that say about Japan and things like that. Is that right? Yeah, from what I remember. So I wasn't really thinking about it. But I guess the main thing is it's probably taken people so long to actually work out that these things hunt by sound.
Mm-hmm.
That would take you a long time to actually figure out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if you look at A Quiet Place Day 1, it didn't take them much, but that's a whole different story.
Aye.
But,
yeah.
The first time I seen this film, I thought it was horrific because I couldn't take snacks into the cinema.
Oh.
Couldn't open the packet because it's so noisy to open a packet of crisps or something.
Yep.
And if you get that packet open, it has to be something soft or maybe melt in your mouth type snacks because you can't chew or crunch. And that goes back to the sound design in this film that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Like, it's so quiet. It was actually really unnerving watching it in a cinema. When we were discussing Rec, we said it was all about a big screen, dark room, great sound. This film is very much the same. I think it was so quiet for so long, and then something would just come out of nowhere, or the sound design would change. Turn. But yeah, sound design was a huge thing for this film.
Aye, brilliant, excellent. It's when I was watching it with my friends on it, they had sound, and I did say that. I was like, I was sitting right next to one of the speakers, and I was like, this is great. And it does make you feel like you are in the film. And this, I mean, let's talk about the start of the film. I mean, it's dealing with that taboo subject about killing off a child.
Well, that's why, if you don't mind, can I go into
of course,
it's on that? Because I just wanted to talk about the opening sequence. It's 10 minutes long, and we learn so much in those 10 minutes. It's a great way to learn about the world with not a lot of dialogue. So we start with text on screen, day 89, but of what?
Yeah.
Day 89 of what? So it builds a sense of mystery right away. The streets are empty. We see missing persons posters, very reminiscent of like 28 Days Later. And then there's a newspaper with the headline saying, it's sound. But again, we know that's important, but what? Then we kind of go inside the store and we see these small figures scurrying about. It's obviously the children, but we don't know that. It could be fucking gremlins at this point. We don't know if it's a goodie or a baddie. And then the sound moves to Reagan's point of view. That's the little girl. And we hear nothing. And it's a little insight to her world.
Yeah, it's
and
brilliant.
Sets us up for going into that more and more throughout the film.
You do hear something. You hear like
It's like a ringing.
It's like a ring. It's like a higher
frequency.
Frequency.
Mm-hmm.
That is brilliant. Yeah, it distincts. It tells you as if you're who. It's going to sound ridiculous, but who's listening?
Yeah, it's whose point of view.
Whose point of view?
Yeah, who's
through the sound?
Yeah, you
Through
usually say whose point of ears. Yeah, yeah. But then we go to the mum, Emily Blunt, who's collecting medication, so we know someone might be sick. Then the sign language is also introduced, which plays a big part in the film as well. So it's making us comfortable on how to watch this film, basically. Then a few minutes later, the dad, John Krasinski, doesn't allow the son to have the toy rocket. with the batteries because of the sound. So we now know sound is dangerous, but we don't know why. And then a little side note here, but the way the toy is introduced is amazing, because we first see the fear in the dad's eyes, and then I think it's Emily Blunt's, and then the camera pulls back, and we're like, what have they seen? Why are they so scared? And then it's just a wee boy, and then the camera turns, and he's holding the toy rocket. And again, we're like, it's just a toy. Why is that scary to all these people? It's just great use of camera and editing. But we also learn in the shop, they're trying to boost a radio signal. We don't know why. So setting up all these kind of like obstacles. Then we see them walking barefoot on the sand to keep quiet. And the way it's shot in the bridge is great, right? Because we see a bird's eye view, and the family are walking single file, and then it cuts to the front, and John Krasinski, the dad, is leading the pack. Because they're walking single file, we can't really see the rest of the characters.
Yeah.
Suddenly we hear the toy ringing, and all of them start to look round. And for the first time, because the sound design's been done so well, when we hear the ringing of the toy, we're like, oh my God, what the fuck is that? Because it seems so loud to us. So we're panicking now. We don't know why we're panicking. Then it cuts to the girl's point of view, Reagan, and she can't hear it. And she's like, "What? Why are you all looking panic?" And then she turns around and she just sees the flashing lights of the rocket. Then obviously John Krasinski starts running towards them. And then out of nowhere, we finally see the monster, and everything up to that point has been explained. It's all done in the first 10 minutes, and it's a great opening scene. I use it when I'm teaching screenwriting at the Monday night class that I teach at, just because it's a perfect way to world build. Yeah. Sorry, I spoke a lot there.
No, that's fine. And just using things like you're saying about the newspaper article.
Yeah.
And things like that. Just simple little things that can help us as the audience get to grips to what we're witnessing and what we could be in for.
Yeah, and if you missed the little bits like the newspaper, it doesn't matter. It doesn't take away from the story. No. It just adds to the story as well. So yeah, I think the opening scene on that bridge is tremendous as well. Yeah. And it's all, again, there's hardly any dialogue, so performance is also key. Performance, the sound design, and also the camera work, it all just blends seamlessly together.
Performances in this are brilliant.
Sorry, let's go to what you said. Yeah. The kill of a child at the start.
Killing of a child at the start, yeah. Right at the start of the film. It's it's bold and it's brave, but so when I was watching it, I was like, because the film then goes from after the death of the child to, is it something like 400 days later?
It can't be as much as that because she's pregnant. I guess it could. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Yeah, it could be because she's not pregnant.
Because she's not pregnant there, I suppose. Yeah,
it does jump a good time jump though. But the kids haven't aged that much.
Yeah. But what I thought about it was, the grief period that they would be in, and this was like, it just came into my head. I was like, they can't even grieve properly. Because to grieve properly, you have to belly cry, you have to cry, you have to expel that grief, and to not be able to do that.
Well, carry on. I'm just showing Stephen a note. That grief is at the top of my next page. But carry on, yeah.
But yeah, something like that is, how have they been able to properly grieve the loss of the child and her brother when you can't do the most natural thing, which is to cry? Mm-hmm. You can't do it. That will cost you your life.
And I think you're right. The film is about this huge world event, but it's how it affects this small family who are trying to grieve. And I think that is thematically, it's about family and grieving and not being given that chance to. So like Reagan, I would say, blames herself for the death of her brother because she gave him the batteries. We didn't even mention that, but she gives him the batteries. No, she doesn't give him the batteries. She gives him the rocket and leaves the batteries, and he takes it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And
I think, shit. He deserved it.
He doesn't understand the world he's in. Although he can do sign language, so he is quite clever, but obviously not clever enough. I would say the dad blames himself, but subconsciously is blaming Reagan because their relationship is kind of fractured. And grief is the only reason I can think of for Emily Blunt and John Krasinski to have another child in
Yeah.
this world. It's pretty fucked up.
It's pretty.
I mean, the two of them are hot, so I can understand why the two of them are shaggers. But come on.
Oh.
Um,
Do you think that's planned?
no. I don't know. Okay, let's do pros and cons. The pro...
Of sex?
Only pros. Pros and cons of deciding to have a kid
Uh-huh.
in the apocalypse. Pros.
Oh, no. No. No.
So it can only be grief because they've lost a kid and the family are grieving, so they want another one.
To repopulate the earth. No.
It's only day 400, as you said.
Aye, exactly.
But I would say that the grief has fractured the family dynamic. So, for instance, when the dad wants to take the boy hunting, he doesn't want to go because he doesn't feel brave enough. But yet the sister does want to go, but thinks the dad doesn't want to take her because he doesn't love her anymore.
Yeah.
Well, the first time watching it, as an audience member, you think he's a stereotypical dad now, you know, taking the son hunting but not the girl. She should stay at home with the mum and take care of the cooking. But actually, watching it this time, I don't think it's that at all, because the dad wants to take the son to the waterfall where they can speak freely and they could actually hear each other's voices.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something he can't do with his daughter.
Yeah.
And she probably wouldn't appreciate it. So I actually think that's what it is. It's subtext.
Yeah.
I think he knows that he could take the daughter and she could hunt because she is the stronger of the two of them.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
But I think that's kind of the reason is he wants to show this space where we can actually just talk and speak freely and don't worry about the noise. And there's a great scene where he tries to give her the hearing device that he's made.
Yep.
And she keeps pushing it away, saying it won't work. And I think it's like a deeper thing that she's feeling like she doesn't deserve it because of what's happened. You can tell as well that the two of them do love each other in that scene, but they just can't communicate because they're just kind of broken there as well.
And that's probably that. I guess that's to do with grief, because that's what it says. It's like you when you are grieving, you do kind of feel like part of you is broken inside.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good, isn't it?
It is. It's a great film. When Reagan leaves home as well, so after the dad takes the son hunting, she just wanders off. And I think first time watching it, you think she's just been a stroppy teenager. She's packed her bags and ran away from home. But she's going to visit the bridge where their younger brother died. And I think it's just so she can be close to him because she can't talk to her mum or her dad or her brother about it at this point. And she goes to the bridge and she cuts the sound wires from the toy radio. And to me, that's her kind of like moving on from it. Because at the same time, it's intercut with our brother and the dad at the waterfall, and he says, "Do you still love her? Or do you blame her?" He's like, "No, I don't blame her." And then that's when he says, "Do you still love her?" He's like, "Of course." And he's like, "Well, you need to show her.
You need to show her or tell her or something," he says,
because she doesn't believe it. And I think that's them dealing with the grief together, using their voices. She can't hear sound. She's cutting the sound cable to kind of move on as well. I just think there's something
metaphorical.
Yeah, it's like visual
the cord.
symbolism. Yeah. So I think all that is really great, and it's quite a lot of it's subtext as well that you might not pick up first watch.
All this is within, the overriding story of the film, which is that there is these aliens out there that are just rampant in destruction and chaos, and all this stuff's playing underneath that.
Yeah.
And it's like, can you imagine having to deal with all these multi-layers whilst this is going on?
Yeah.
I guess that's what happens in real life is, in a crisis, the world doesn't just stop, the outside world keeps going. There's almost like no time to breathe, and these guys have got all these complex feelings and emotions going through this whilst this apocalypse is sort of happening, and it's kind of like, how do you balance that? Like,
well, even if you think about you having a really shit day, or you wake up, or you've had a really shite night, and then you wake up feeling terrible, you don't want to go to work, but but you have to. Nobody understands what you're going through because you've not really said to them.
Yeah.
And it's just another barrier. So, like, elevate that by 1,000 with these aliens.
Yeah.
And you're still having to get through your grievance or your fractured relationship with your parents or whatever it might be. Plus, battling space monsters.
Yeah, the Reagan, is she in a house or something? And then we sort of get a scare from the dad when he grabs hold of her, doesn't he?
It's when, that's a good point. It's when she decides she's going to go into the basement to look at his work.
Yeah.
And he grabs her and tells her not to go in there. And then she says, why? And then he says, you know why? Obviously, that's all done through sign language, but we can't do that in an audio podcast. But again, great little jump scare. Why can't you go down? It's never explained.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I've tried to work this out and tried to work it out. This viewing, the only thing that I can guess is there's a lot of audio equipment down there. Radios, microphones. And if she presses the wrong button,
He doesn't trust her. So
it could send out a big loud noise. Monsters come. That's the only thing I can think, because there's nowhere else in the house that seems to have, like, they play Monopoly. And it's all like with soft figurines and things.
yeah, man,
They still fuck that up somehow.
I know. I was he knocks over
The lantern.
The lantern.
And that's a good jump scare as well with the raccoons.
Yeah, and it just shows you as well, like, because it's almost just letting you know that this is still a threat. One mistake could be the end of them.
Yeah.
It must have been it must have been interesting writing this film. Like, I wonder how much of the sort of set pieces and the little bits of action that really ramp up the tension would have been there beforehand in writing, because you don't have any dialogue. It would be interesting to see how much work, and it'd be interesting to know if they had these, what would you call them, actions or set pieces laid out beforehand.
Well, the script is really interesting, and I suggest that our listeners go and just skim through it, because usually scripts can look very basic, big action lines across the page and dialogue down the sides, but it really paces stuff out. So, like, if you go to page 8, it'll say stuff like silence is the only word on the page. It takes lots of beats, lots of white space in the page, so as that you take a breath, and it kind of builds tension. But what else it does is it would show the Monopoly board and how it looks. So it would actually have images in it.
Ah, right, okay.
And a lot of scripts don't actually do
that's
that.
pretty cool.
So it's got little things in it, like, as they walk, we may or may not notice how they always avoid dry leaves and sticks, walk heel to toe, distribute their weight evenly. So it's giving you kind of the rules of the world. You might or might not notice on first viewing. Yeah, so like lots of different things in there to try and kind of build that world and build the pacing of it as well. So it's a really cool read as well. So they're like, so on one of the scripts that we looked at, on page 16, so it's just before the young boy is killed at the start, there is one line on the page that says, John is 30 feet from the shed. Then 20 feet away in the next line, 10 feet, and the text is getting bigger on each page to show how dramatic it is, 5. And then snap, the boy's taken. So it's a really cool way of showcasing it. Yeah.
Man, that is there you go.
Monopoly.
There's a Monopoly board.
So they actually did an image scanned into it of what they're using to play Monopoly and stuff like that. So it really helped create the world, and it's very unusual for a script to do that.
Yeah.
But you aren't here for screenplays, you are here for horror.
You sort of say that there about, like, building the world and the rules of the world. Anytime Emily Blunt is on screen, you're thinking, right, okay, I know what the rules of the world are. How does you, giving birth, how does that go in with these set of rules? And the answer is it doesn't. But then it's revealed what they plan to do when the baby is born.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's like, all right, it's a good idea, but you're like, fuck, that's like nightmare fuel. You're going to put a baby in a box with, an oxygen mask on.
It's funny because I've got like a note here, it's like, there's a lot of great foreshadowing and setups and payoffs. I was just going to name a few, but one of them is, so after the opening credits, one of the first things we see is a small oxygen mask and tank, and we see Emily Blunt's character creating this like box and like padding it all out, but we don't know what it's for. We see the kids, again, very subtle, they're just in the background, but they're newspapering layers of newspaper onto the wall.
Yeah.
And we're like, what? Why are they doing this? And it's later we realise it's for the mum giving birth.
Yeah.
They're soundproofing the wall with newspaper. But it's only after we see them doing all that then it's revealed that she's pregnant. So we don't even see the baby bump before that. So again, it's like nice little setup and payoff. And one of the things that we've said in a previous episode is if you see the plan, it's probably going to fail.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of another example. We see kind of what the plan is, and it kind of works, half works, but the creature still breaks in. A few other ones is the boy at the start, the wee boy that's killed, says, a rocket is how we'll get away. Now, obviously, they don't get into a rocket and fly away, but the fireworks are used as a distraction to help the mum at the end. So it's kind of a nice setup and payoff. The boy says to the dad at the waterfall, Reagan doesn't think you love her anymore. This is the last words the dad says to Reagan before he's killed. Sign languages.
I love you.
I love you
Mm-hmm.
as well. And then I think he says, I have always loved you.
Mm-hmm.
After the mum gives birth, she says the following to the dad: who are we if we can't protect them? You have to protect them. He does this by screaming at the top of his lungs and sacrificing himself to save the kids. But this was also set up earlier when he's going through the forest with the boy and they come across the man who screams at the top of his lungs to commit suicide by death of monster, I guess. And it's kind of also sad, though. It relates back to family because he only gets to spend a few minutes with his newborn baby before he has to go out and save them. And then he is killed as well.
Fuck. Well, everything you're saying there, that's why the film is as tense as it is. I can add, I saw the second one in the cinema, and I was like, I found it quite effective as well. But I wish I saw this in the cinema. But well,
it was good. Sorry, it was good. Seen it twice, mate.
And it's funny because do you think because I don't know a lot of people that talk about it a lot. This film,
no,
but it's such a well done sci-fi horror thriller.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's just because it's modern that it's not given the credit it sort of deserves?
Maybe. I think it is funny because when we were doing the Amityville horror, we were talking about comfort films, and a bit of it is nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like 10 o'clock at night and I'm going to hit my bed and I'm going to put on a film and somebody went A Quiet Place or Amityville, I'd probably pick Amityville.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I would say A Quiet Place is the better film out of the two of them.
Well, yeah.
I would say it is. It's doing a lot more. Characters are solid, cool creature. I don't know, is it because modern films are kind of missing this like warmth? Is it just all nostalgia?
Maybe I think that's a big part of it, yeah.
Because it's only like I think this film is only like 90 minutes. It's a tight movie.
Yeah, that is.
It's doing all the right things, and it does deserve more love. Maybe the other problem is I can't believe I'm going to say this, but maybe it's because they churn out the sequels so fast to make the money that it almost
desensitizes it a little bit,
or desaturates it a little bit. It's a bit more. A Quiet Place won't be remembered for its standalone film. There's already now 2 sequels. There was talks of a TV show, so it softens the main film. Now it's funny because I compared it to the Amityville Horror, where we slagged it for having like 25 sequels, but I don't know.
Yeah, the scene with when she stands on that nail. I mean, you obviously it's coming.
Home Alone style.
Aye, but you're just like, it's coming, it's coming, and I'm just still like, fuck,
because you can't scream.
And that would be your initial, your reaction would be to scream and let it out.
Yeah.
But
it's a nice little setup for the pregnancy scene because she can't scream when she stands on a nail. She almost does. So how is she going to?
Yeah,
how is she going to get on with the pregnancy?
And that build up when she does let it out is great when the fireworks go off. And she just lets it out. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's great as well because it all lights up in red.
Yeah,
as well, so it's like danger.
Yeah.
Just nice symbolism there as well.
It shows you how smart they are and how do we know where they are from? We don't. That's not revealed. If they were city folk, if they were country folk, or anything like that.
I think they're small town but I only know that from the sequel.
Okay.
Could you see that flashback in the sequel when it starts
When it
off and it's a small? It looks like Maine or something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of okay. Yeah,
But I think they've got survival skills basically.
yeah. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as two men in the room, let's talk about the pregnancy. Is it believable? I mean, women go into labour for hours, days. No, it just so happens.
Thing is, this is her third,
Okay,
so it's less. It's usually less time. First one I think usually takes the longest. Fourth.
because the kid got killed at the start.
Oh yeah. Aye, yeah. Do you know what's funny? I keep forgetting the actual boy who's alive right now when I'm talking about this. So this is our fourth, so it probably just walked it. I think the muscles in that, over the year, I think they
Keep digging.
I'll keep digging a hole here. Brilliant. From what I've heard, the more children that you give birth to, the lesser it becomes.
Painful.
Or theirs in labour, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. But it could be as well that thing where it's like, no, I can't say that. No.
I say it, I'll cut it out now.
No. I was going to say, if you need to poo, right? And you can't poo, that's when it becomes more like it wants to come out. Maybe this is this exact same vibe here, but it's like she knows at this point she cannot give birth to this kid because she's been hunted by one of those aliens. So maybe that's the time when the body's like, well, this seems like the perfect time to really amp it up and get out, isn't it?
We're keeping that in.
I keep it in, why not? Yeah.
So basically, Stephen's rules of pregnancy is treat it like a shit.
Aye.
Treat it like a poo.
Aye.
It is a good scene, and I appreciate the fact that they've put a pregnancy in it because pregnancy is probably one of the biggest noises a woman can make. So putting into a film where you have to be quiet is a good conflict to have in it. And I think that's why, if I was to go down to plot, that's why they've made her pregnant again. It's like, how can we put this scene into it?
Mm-hmm. I guess that happens when you see it in some zombie films as well, where it's like, or even like The Walking Dead, it's like, oh shit, someone's pregnant. Fuck. Because that's just up in the stakes in terms of like, the one thing you don't want to happen is the child to die. Or get ripped apart by zombies. So it just makes things a lot more tense, and yeah, there's a lot more at stake with it.
And do you think all the characters in this are likeable?
Definitely.
I agree. I think there's this lovely scene with Emily Blunt and John Krasinski. It does help they're married, but he's a bit stressed trying to make the new kind of earpiece for the daughter, and Emily Blunt comes down the stairs and starts dancing with him.
Yeah.
And she's got a little iPod and she lets him hear it. And it's just a beautiful scene where the two of them slow dance. And it's like they're remembering the time before.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. And I think the kids are likeable. Emily Blunt's character could be given a little bit more to do, I feel, in it. But she is pregnant, 9 months pregnant, I guess. So there isn't really so much. But then once John Krasinski's character's been killed off, she does pick up a shotgun and go after the aliens and protect her kids. So it's all in there, yeah.
What do you think of the sort of little the sort of realization that Reagan comes across in terms of the frequency, that the feedback is what can hurt them?
I love it. I think it works really well. You've got a character, I guess, is a disabled character, hard of hearing, and piece of equipment that is used to help her, a piece of equipment that she also is against, she keeps pushing out her dad's hand, is ultimately the piece of equipment that could help save mankind fully, not just help someone with a disability.
Yeah.
It's helping all. I also really think it's cool that there's hints of it in the second half of the film. Like, there's a part where, it's a really cool scene actually, she's in the cornfield and one of the aliens is coming up behind her, but she can't hear it coming, and she's fiddling with her earpiece trying to get it to work. There's a name for it, and I can't remember what it's called, the equipment. But she turns the frequency, and the creature behind her is going off its nut, and she can't even hear it. So that's our realization into it. So we now know more than the characters, which is a unique advantage point. And then it happens again in the car. And then at the end, she starts to work out what's causing it. And I think it's really cool because it's a room that she's not allowed in, as we've already established. But even though the alien is from another planet, it's nature, right? And man, as in humanity, learns to beat the alien, so beat nature, in a room full of tech equipment, when the rest of the film, any human technology, shops, everything has been destroyed, and we're in a world that's overgrown by nature.
Mm-hmm.
And in the final scene in that basement, we're full of technology again, and it's the technology that humans have created that's going to beat this creature. And I think that's really interesting because usually when there's technology involved, it's a downfall in films, and in this, it's the opposite.
It's the opposite.
That was a long-winded answer there. Sorry. It's cool. It's cool.
So Reagan does eventually see down in the basement, doesn't she? And it's all the equipment
It's towards the end, yeah.
that our dad has been using. That might answer the question in terms of you said about why he doesn't let her down there, and maybe it's because she realises how much effort he put into trying to help her.
It does, but the problem with it is, for the plot, we need her to see that at the end to realise how much effort he's put in after he's gone.
But why not just show it anyway?
And so the only reason I can think is because he doesn't want her messing with any of the sound equipment and setting off a microphone that brings the creatures towards them.
Mm-hmm. Well, could it be that he doesn't want to guilt her into it? Because it could be, if she sees all this, then it might be he's trying to force it. But he kind of is doing that anyway. But you can understand the reasons as to why. It's because if you looked outside, you've seen what's happening. It's fucking mental.
You also need your hearing.
Yeah.
She shows that she doesn't, but he feels like the only way to protect her is to help her hearing.
Oh, of course, because it's going to relieve that. I guess it's, again, not apparent, but it must be that sort of obsession where if you have a child and you think there's something wrong and you can do something to help them, you're going to do, most parents are going to do whatever they can. 100% to help them.
I also find it really nice that in a post-apocalyptic film, there's no other humans that are the baddie.
Yeah.
The Walking Dead's done it, the Book of Eli's done it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice to see that humans are helping each other in this film. Well, not even, they are. There's humans are helping each other in this film, even though we don't really see anyone else, because there's the scene at the start. Again, it's a nice setup for later, where John Krasinski goes up onto the tower thing and lights the fire, and then we see all the different houses lighting their fires to know we're all safe.
Gondor is answered.
Yes, it is like that. But then it's a nice little setup because later on Reagan's on that kind of tower thing. What's it called again? It's where all the corners. It's like the water towers.
Yeah, it's when, I can't remember the name. It's some kind of tower thing.
Yeah. But she tries to light the fire to let her dad know that we need help. But I think it runs out of fuel.
Mm-hmm. What you were saying there, like not having other humans in it who are sort of the added antagonists. I think in a film like this, where they're making very unconventional choices, whether or not there's the use of no dialogue and all that, and the kind of rules that you spoke about, but it just shows you what they've managed to do with the set pieces, the acting from the actors without using dialogue. It's like everything about it's so strong that you can keep the story contained into this family who are grieving. You don't need someone from the outside. It's just tight and it's close knit and it's just, yeah.
I'm not going to say they mess it up, but the Quiet Place Part 2, human antagonists are in it. One thing it does annoy me about the film is, and it's just for a jump scare. So Emily Blunt has the baby,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't know if we know the creatures are about at this point. And John Krasinski's running back to the farm as fast as he can, and he gets there. He runs up the stairs, and he goes into the bathroom, and there's just blood in the bathtub, and we start to go, they've been killed. And you can believe that could have happened because we're seeing the kid at the start.
Yeah.
So no one's really safe in the film.
So 2 babies are dead? No way.
So he kind of breaks down and leans against the wall, and then suddenly, bang, Emily Blunt's bloody hand is seen through the shower door.
Yeah.
Right. The reason it doesn't work for me, I don't mind she might have died, and then actually she's alive and we're all happy. Absolutely fine. Emily Blunt would not bang on glass. It's a quiet place. She knows the rules, so it's just done to give us a fright.
Okay. Yeah.
Because she would not bang on that glass.
She's smart over that, yeah.
Yeah, she would just open it. And she'd be like, John. Even though his name's not John in it. But
His name's not John in it.
that's the actor's name. John, I mean, one thing we've not spoke about is actually they're a married couple in real life.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So that's why the chemistry, I think, works so well between them.
Yeah.
And they should have been the new Fantastic Four, but they're not.
That's right.
Any other notes or nitpicks or anything you want to discuss for it?
I think we've wrapped everything up quite nicely there.
So sequels, you would rate A Quiet Place Part 2.
I think so, yeah. But again, I need to watch it again after watching the first one. I hadn't seen A Quiet Place on the big screen, and I'd watched it on a laptop. So the first time, so when I saw
Terrible
the second
choice.
one, I know, I can't remember why I didn't get a chance to see it in the cinema. But anyway, but I remember just being like, yeah, this is pretty good. This was effective. I think the first one, from what I've seen, is probably a better film.
A Quiet Place Day 1. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I was a fan, really. I saw it in the cinema and I was just like, yeah.
It went for big set pieces, and I feel like this is like executive decisions more than directors and writers. Big set pieces. Cast were fine. The acting was fine in it, but it had no heart.
Yeah.
This one has a lot of heart. Quiet Place Part 2 has a lot of heart in it as well. It's just set piece, move on. Set piece, move on. It's missing something, and it's like that family dynamic is what this one was all about. It needs its thing. What is it trying to say, do?
Yeah.
What emotions is it trying to get from us? And for me, that's what it was missing. And also the cat.
Krasinski wasn't involved in this in the third one, was he?
I don't think so. He might have executive produced or something like that. I know cats are meant to have 9 lives, but we don't need to see it. Because there's one scene in it where I think it's the guy out of Stranger Things is crawling across like construction site beams and that, trying to get the cat. And I'm just like, it's not even his cat. This wouldn't be happening, you know. Ratings?
I'd give it a good 4.5. 4.5.
Toy rockets.
Toy rocket.
I'm going to agree with you. I thought it was going to be a 4, but the only thing that I would maybe, for me personally, that I would strike a half mark from is that scene with the Emily Blunt in the shower. Whoa, it's just like a different film. But yeah, the bang on the glass. I'm just like, these characters are too intelligent to be doing that, and it's just it's for our benefit. It's a little jump scare, and just doesn't quite hold up for me on that. So that brings us to the end of A Quiet Place. Shh. So we're going to give our creative recommendations at the moment. I'm going to go first, and hopefully I get this episode out in time. But I'm going to recommend Stranger Things on Stage. It's playing in London right now, and you can still buy tickets up until the end of November. If you're a fan of A Quiet Place, there's some weird, cool creatures in the Stranger Things universe as well. Demigorgons.
Yeah.
But the stage show was really cool as well. Season 5's about to start back soon. So, yeah, check out Stranger Things if you're close to London or can get there.
So my creative recommendation is a film that I starred in about 3 years ago, called The Slave and the Sorcerer. I'm actually filming the sequel next month, The Slave and the General. But if you're interested in slave and sorcery type films, like sword and sorcery type films, Deathstalker, Beastmaster, Albert Pune films, then check it out. I'll leave a link in the bio. It's fun. There's boobs, there's moobs, there's sweat, and yeah, cool little flick.
And swords.
And swords.
Yes. Well, that's another episode done. Thank you very much for tuning in. We don't know what our next film will be yet, but please keep an eye on our social medias. We'll put out some stuff for it. Stephen, anything you want to add?
Yeah, just thank you very much for those who are tuning in every week. It really helps a lot. It helps us grow the listener base, and just the more you can share, the better. We have the Secret Cinema coming up next month. The Old Hairdressers, that's going to be a blast. And
29th of June.
29th of June. So yeah, we're looking forward to those attending. So there are a few tickets still remaining, and we look forward to welcoming you then.
And we really are just trying to build up a horror community, so please interact with us on Instagram, the Facebook group, and let us know your thoughts. Yeah, it doesn't need to just be a podcast. It can be a community on socials.
Yeah.
So I'm still Gary. Are you still Steg?
Yes.
And we are The Horror Cut. So as I said, you can follow us at The Horror Cut Show on Instagram, and you can also comment, share your thoughts on the Facebook group at The Horror Cut Show as well, and we look forward to chatting again soon.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers. Thanks. Bye.
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare, huh?
We're friends to the end, remember?
This is the end, friend.